Hello, friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. All right, so you remember yesterday we started off trying to fix those cabinets in the kitchen and ran into a couple of problems when we reinstalled them, and I decided to turn that into a 2-day vlog instead. So let's go finish off those two things. I think the solution on that is going to be real simple. I still got a bunch of those number 6 washers that I purchased when I repaired the towel rack in the bathroom. So I think I can use the same thing to act as spacers behind the rails in the cabinet. So let's start with that and see where we get. Now I'm expecting that with the amount of wiggle room that there is here between the drawer and in this slot here, that I may actually need to put a couple of spacers in there to close the gap. Now you might think that I could just put 2 spacers over here and none on this side and it wouldn't be a problem. But unfortunately, if I do that, then I'm going to offset the centering a little bit. And when you look at the drawers, they may not be a straight line going down the edge. They may be staggered one way or another. So if I'm going to do 2 spacers, I should do 1 on each side rather than 2 of them on one side, just to kind of try and keep everything centered. So I think I'm going to do that. Now it appears that each of these sliders here has 2 screws. I see one here and I see one back here. And it's the same on the other side. So I'm just going to remove each of those screws, put a spacer behind it, retighten them up, and then we'll put the drawer in there and let's see if that works. Now right off the bat, one of the things I noticed is that the screws that they're using to attach the rails to the inside of the cabinet are very, very short. And if I add an extra couple washer thicknesses through there, they may not grip down far enough. So I actually have some other screws here that I might actually end up using in place. Alright, I've completed doing that on this drawer. You almost can't even tell it happens, but if you look there, you can actually see the spacer there, and you can see the spacer there. And so in reality, I've just closed the distance maybe 1/8 of an inch, but that may be all that's necessary to get this to fit. So let's put the cabinet in there and see if it works. Alright, that seems to work a lot better. I don't hear it sliding off the rails anymore. It was a little tight getting it in there because the roller was hitting the screw a little bit. But once you get the roller into there and dropped onto the slot, then it just rolls in and out real well. So I think we're done with that one. Let's pull the tape off of that one. That one's good to go. Alright, so that first one looks pretty good. I think we're good to go on that one. This one here, this is the one that's next to the dishwasher. Remember I told you that was the one where the cabinet collides with the dishwasher when it comes out? This one's going to be a little bit more complicated, I think, because there's so much space in there that I think I'm going to probably have to put a couple spacers behind each screw. So let's start by doing that. There's also a little less working room in here because this is a smaller drawer, so I don't think we're going to be able to use the electric drill this time for driving screws. We're going to have to do things the old-fashioned way. Good old stubby. I also see that the maintenance people have resorted to using drywall screws again in here. Yeah.
That's not how it's done.
Alright, that was a little bit more awkward of an angle to work at just because I'm a right-handed person, and kind of it works better if you're a left-handed person. But we got 2 spacers between each of the rails, so once again, let's see if it works. And of course you remember that in order to do anything with this drawer, you got to open the dishwasher. So, yay. Alright, that seems to work better. Stops where it should. Goes in, looks like it's pretty well lined up. It's a little bit off, but you know what? It's far better than it was, right? Now you may also recall that when we opened this up yesterday, we discovered that this bottom rail wasn't attached on either side. So I'm going to try and do something about that right now too. That's very simple. Now one of the things that you want to do when you're putting these things in is you want to make sure that this surface is parallel to the ground here, because if you just let it sit all the way down, it's actually going to go, it's not going to be parallel to the ground. It'll be further down in the back and your drawers will kind of go in at a weird angle. So I used a bubble level and just made a little mark there where I'm going to drill a hole. Did the same thing over here, made a little mark there where I'm going to drill the hole, and we'll go with that. Alright, got a screw drilled in there, got one in there. So that should hold everything in place now. Let's see if the drawer still works. Alright, much better. Slides in and out. It doesn't fall to the ground when you lift out, so we're in good shape here. Got to do a little cleaning up here now. I'm kind of made a little bit of a mess, but that's simple to do. And that's how that's done. Sorry, I love that noise. And by the time I get through this whole place and get everything fixed up, I'm going to have a pretty impressive collection of screws. These are the ones that were just either left in the cabinet or that I removed and replaced with something else because they weren't the right one. So after I got done editing and uploading yesterday's video, I decided I was going to tackle a problem that I encountered on my entertainment system. Last night I was watching something on Netflix, and then just all of a sudden in the middle of a show, the screen went blank, there was a sound, and that was the end of it, and the screen, and nothing happened. I just figured, you know, sometimes computers, they have a glitch or something like that, and you know, you run into a problem that way. And so I figured, okay, well, let's just do a reboot, you know, and see what happened. Well, when I rebooted the computer, the monitor didn't come back. So after I got done editing the video yesterday, I decided, okay, well, let's see if we can figure out what it is. I hope it isn't what I fear it is, because this is a really, really old computer running a version of Windows that doesn't even really exist anymore. And so if I lose the computer, you know, the reason I use it is because I really became a fan of this version software, something called Media Center. Media Center was just some software that allowed you to DVR your TV. It allowed you to access pictures and videos. So you could put all your pictures and videos on it, all your music and all that fun stuff, and then access it with a remote control like you would any other TV device. Well, when they discontinued it, you know, I've been doing my best to try and keep this thing alive all this time. So I kind of feared the worst. At best case scenario, I figured I lost a video board, which was going to be hard to replace because it's such an old computer. So when I look behind it, it's like, oh, the HDMI cable came unplugged from the back of the computer. This isn't even the maintenance people's fault. This falls squarely at the feet of two little kitties that like to hide behind there, and no doubt pulled the HDMI cable out, or at least loosened it to the point where it came out at one point during the show last night. So fortunately, I plugged it back in and everything is good, so we're in business. All right, so that's about all I have for today, so I'm going to end it at this point. Tomorrow is going to be another pods day. Yay, hottest day of the week, and I'm going to be unloading another pod. Can't wait, so come along, won't you? Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night. Oh, one more thing. I've been talking to the gentleman who came up with that great Pods Texas Chainsaw Massacre t-shirt I showed you, I think, yesterday. Yeah, we're going to go forward with that, I think. He's also got a really great idea for a That's Not How It's Done shirt. So hopefully we're going to get some really great merchandise.